sake that he will be present today and he will be able to make the impact he normally has.
All right, let's see which map we're going to be playing on. Our match is pretty much ready, so we're going to try to go through things ASAP. 7 map pool, 6 out, 1 is left. And which will it be? Let's go. Show me the money. Thank you very much. Let's go. Oh.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, surprise! Pikachu surprise phase.
Oregon. It's always been Oregon. It's that astronaut meme.
That coming.
It's that astronaut meme, you know. Was it always? It's always Oregon.
It's always been.
It's always been Oregon. All right, quick take on this hap. What do you think?
If Granit are going to be able to play like they did in the Nordics against Chaos, they should be able to pick up the game here. Last time they faced off against Gamma, Eastwood didn't show up. Showed them that they were still a very competent team coming up 7-5. So if he is there, they should be able to take it.
Gio, your take?
All the wins that Winstrike have had in the Russian Major League so far have been on this map. They didn't ban it last time, so clearly they've got something good up their sleeve.
All right, let's see how it goes. Let's toss it over to Oregon, and our casters are awaiting. So please, it's our good friends from Down Under, our Australians, Dev and Jess. Enjoy.
G'day there, mate. Welcome to the stream Down Under. We're going to have a bloody good one here, ain't we, Jess?
Look, mate, I tell you what, it's good to have an Aussie who's going to understand every little tidbit of my accent here because I'm going to rip it a good new one here. And as we jump into Oregon, it's a map we know all too well, and well, I'm glad we've got Winstrike and Granit on it because out of all the teams I want to see pull this map apart, it's a Russian team versus a really calculated and tactical team like Granit.
Yeah, it's the battle of Granit, who's been playing in the Nordic champs, versus the Russians' Winstrike. And something that I'm going to be bringing up every now and then during this cast is what the guys on the desk were chatting about, and that's Eastwood from the Benelux roster. From the Benelux himself. He really, really struggled in his game just last week. Mr. Consistent, they said. Well, he was got 1 kill and 10 deaths in his previous match. His opening killed 2 rounds, 17% survival rate. That is absolutely shocking.
Yeah, and not a surprise we go to Oregon here. I think it might have been Gio that popped up the fact is that, I mean, you've never seen Winstrike ban Oregon. And even in their last Playday here on EUCL, it was like the last ban of Fedora, I think, who they drew with 6-6 on, I believe it was Clubhouse overall. So you got to think to yourself, Winstrike coming into this, most won map, least banned map, got to be something that is really big for them here. And if Granit want to take it, well, I'm going to stop myself there. James, what is that? A sledge ban? That's got to be a target ban.
It's an odd one for me because I'm having a look right now at previous operator bans out of Winstrike and the sledge they have never banned in all of my notes. Now I'm going to take a squiz over at the CGG stats. Sledge was not the main pick for any of the Granit guys in their last match. So
What?
I don't know. Look, the only thing here I'm going to guess is maybe Winstrike want to jump right on that castle. Maybe that's what they're doing, and they're hoping that getting the sledge out of there means it's going to waste some Zephyr and Ash's utility on it.
Look, that's a really intense and deep strategy. If that's what they're going for, and you're right, we'll see it come up almost instantaneously with the castle. If they don't bring the castle, my only other thought process is they've seen a VOD of Granit on Oregon, and it contains a lot of sledge. That's all I can think of.
Well, I know, Gio, you and me, we're both massive nerds for the game, so I feel like we're already getting rewarded with some cool creative siege. Come on, give me that castle. Maybe it's a 6-pick. I just want to see it out of these guys. Laundry and Supply, the first pick, and it's not there yet. The only reason you'd pick castle on this one, in my eyes, is to go for a roam, and that's not what it looks like they're going to lean into as of yet.
Not when you got something like a Wamai, but it is being 6th pick, and to a Malusi, of course. Not a surprise, really helpful with the blue bunker and elbow hold specifically. I'm surprised that the Wamai was 6th picked out of all of the operators there, but they do need the Go shields, they need the ADSs. You definitely do need that smoke there to be able to play that really key position. Eastwood's going to be the one rocking the smoke, and he's got a shotgun to make a lot of those rotates and pulls that they need. So it's a great lineup. I would have liked to have seen the Wamai, but I don't think it'll be too much of a cause. That sledge, though, got to bring it up again, James. Got to be a target ban. Nothing else.
Guess we'll see as the game unfolds whether we maybe think it becomes relevant. Coming off of last week, Winstrike has got 1 point on the board thanks to their draw with Fedora, but Granit still yet to find a point. Now, they did have a really close match against Gamma Gaming, previously the Lowland Lions. One of the favorites to a couple of people. I've heard people rate them pretty highly. Mainly it's Hap, though. I think he's a bit biased being a Benelux roster. So, I mean, that's something to say. For Granit to come through and already take nearly a win, in my opinion, they actually looked like the better team when they played against them. So, hey, who knows? I could see Granit putting up a serious fight here. I think this is going to be a close match.
Well, if this is a really confident map here for Winstrike, they're going to know exactly how to take blue bunker and elbow control. Only one ADS where Maya was 6 picked off of. That's dangerous for Eastwood. And guess what? It's a go-go shield that assists there with him. He's going to have to rotate out really quickly once that ADS is cooked.
Droning on through. Spots out the mute jammer, spots out all that utility. Interesting setup here from Granit. Oh, there you go. The first one taken out. It was too far forward, so that nade able to explode before it hit the ADS.
I've not seen a secondary shield like this in quite a while, James, where it backs up the fact that you know you're probably going to lose that first shield very early on. Oh, no! Your attention is elsewhere, Exo. And Eastwood takes full advantage of that. And, well, you don't always think that the Banshee will be the bait, but the ADS persists here for Eastwood, so he could probably get away with playing this aggressively a little bit longer.
You see how much Winstrike are scared of that now, but at least they're opening up this long angle in electrical. And they're once again trying to bait this reinforcement. And Eastwood, he actually backs off the Rio. They're going to think it's open, or closed rather, but Eastwood is still here and he still has that shield, as you said. Very unusual. Surely he can get the kill here.
He doesn't manage to, and he almost loses his life in the process, and that smoke will rain out as well. But they've wasted a lot of time. Badger is able to swing out on Pillar Door, but they are trading back and forth. This doesn't look too dire for Winstrike, but I've cursed them now. Surely this is all over, and they've got a full 65 seconds left. Can you pick up Smash as well? Yes, Smash is outside. So, oh, nope, I take it back. Badger is there to absolutely end that, and that was on the back stairs, so it's all up to Furzo, or Flares, I should say, well, it's a lot of work ahead of him.
The AK is a good weapon for it. In close range against the shotgun, he might not be so lucky. The pre-fire is perfect, though. Double kill on the round. Gonna need to make it an ace or bust. The drone thrown out. 40 seconds, lots of time to play with. A little bit of util in those smokes. That'd help isolate, make some 1v1s out of this, but with 3 players to find, and Granit got the gas to slow him down, I don't think this is possible.
He decides to jump over into Harry Potter. Smart move to evade the smoke now, but they know exactly where he is. Traces give away his position, and Badger finishes him with the pistol. And well, a round that looked like it might go into the hands of Winstrike to begin with, especially when they were able to get rid of that Go-Go shield without having to cook the ADS. What I think they did, James, was they shot the Ash charge a little shy of the shield so it wouldn't have to collect with the ADS. Boom, that radius collects it, they get it for free. What the saving grace was there for Granit, that second shield. And I've watched a lot of Oregon games, as you have, and I've not seen that done before.
Yeah, the thing that really stuck out to me as well was the way Granit just kept on baiting that reinforcement. We've seen it a few times before. I remember that infamous 4K from number 2 on Fav in APAC North last stage, where they actually reeled him off in elbow, and the attackers were like, oh, it's free, let's move up. And he gets a 4K from that position. We saw something kind of similar. Eastwood was playing ready to take a fight, and one of his teammates started to Rio that off, and then the attackers got a bit too aggro. I think they managed to get 2 or 3 kills out of that. It was a really nice one. But we're actually moving on, not to Dorms. Kind of a surprise to me. We're actually seeing this team pick up meeting next. Now, Jess, I've heard a lot of debate, and I'm interested to see, or hear rather, what part of the party do you fall under? Are you more of a dining kind of gal, or you prefer meeting?
Looking at the win rates, and I'll have to fall back on EUL here because we've had stage 1, all of stage 1, which is a bigger sample size for me to sort of reference. There were 13 times kitchen and dining was played, and it was won only 54% of the times defensively. But if you look at meeting and kitchen, it's been played only 4 times. So a lot of teams really prefer the kitchen and dining. And it did have a slight defensive rate to it. And then it was a 50-50 for meeting hall and kitchen, but only a four times it's been played overall. So I think overall in the European playing teams rather, they prefer kitchen and dining. but I don't know what that is about. Is it because of the power position Tower gives them and how much they have to hold if they do meeting? Or is it because they've just not had good times with meeting? I'm not sure.
Well, I guess Granit are one of the innovators then, because not only are they picking this less common bomb side EU, but they've also got the Clash. Believe that was an air jab on this double door, though, so that prevents Madman from getting any more aggressive. Oscar is here to try and capitalize on some info, should have play a wide swing, but I don't think Winstrike's going to give him the fight.
Yeah, good for Madman that he either understood that it was an air jab on that door and he didn't walk out and sacrifice his life, or that he's just really trying to bait out all of those players and get someone to peek so that one of his teammates could possibly swing around. As they say these days, swing or be swung. And a Clash really assists with them being able to do that. But was that ball given away for free? Yes, it was. And I'm just looking at the defensive lineup. There was only a mute jammer there, so that's easily dealt with. And on a side like this, I prefer seeing a Kaid, so a shame that we're not seeing it.
He ended up getting banned by Granit, but of course that does make it really easy to deal with those mute jammers. Yeah, I don't know, like, you'd think that the Kaid ban makes it so much easier for the attack, but I guess the idea here is Granit's not going to rely too much on that wall denial. You see how much they've peeled back.
Look at that angle. That's a nasty one.
That's
he actually doesn't have the he doesn't have the shotgun and SMG combo. Instead, maining the main SMG. What is it? The FMG 9, I believe that is.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. And now, well, Attic control in the hands of Winstrike. Air jabbing off Attic, so Badger's in a bad place as well. And now with, over 50 seconds left, they've got a lot of time to bait out these defenders. Shields are gone as well. They could probably smoke this off, maybe even bait at the moment. Do they have? They do. They've got the Zofia there to try and get this castle and that shield. Well, there you go. It makes work, and it's actually not the shield anymore. It's gone.
What? Hello? Larry to take down himself and Flares? A bit of a Lamau comes out in chat. The big L from Badger. Out of nowhere, Smash is the only player left against 5. Look, you tried so hard, but you didn't succeed. 18 seconds left. This drop into the kitchen is somehow not heard. But at this point, is it really going to matter? No diffuser in hand. Granit are going to be having a laugh about this round later, no doubt. Smash trying to push on through, can find one, denies the flawless round, but Badger's there to clean up.
What must have happened? Of course, we missed it because we were so focused on, of course, what the smoke was doing over in Split. But what must have happened is they went to sort of rush in and a grenade was being thrown at the same time. And if you get it caught on the shoulder, the head, even the hand as someone runs across left to right, that just bounces the grenade back almost instantaneously. There's not much you can do. Made a really critical mistake there on a round they probably could have won, especially if the Zofia had dealt with the Clash. I think overall, an easy round for Granit, but a round that Winstrike need to recover from very quickly, because when you're 2 rounds down on a map that you claim to be your best, you need to be pulling better rounds than that.
It's hard to recover when it's such a tilter, isn't it? I mean, surely there's a bit of infighting there. I mean, Larry's like, come on, man, you ran in front of me. His teammate's like, oh, come on, dude, you just naded me. And that's why you really just need to have a positive team environment, don't you? Just like, all right, bygones be bygones. We lost that. We messed up. Whatever, move on, guys. We know that we're not going to... We're going to have our revenge against these guys. And honestly, if you're losing because of your own mistakes rather than the enemy's successes, it's actually kind of a good thing, because it means all you got to do is start fixing up your own mistakes and you're going to be winning these rounds.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to point up as well, because I don't think a lot of viewers think about that. They always go, oh, wow, that team's so good, they won. Or sometimes it's not that the team's doing anything grandiose. It's that the attackers, or the opponents, rather, are making so many little mistakes that they roll up into one big one, or a lot of big mistakes that just cause them to have a really bad round. That one was a huge example of that. This is Winstrike's best map, as we keep saying. Look at this setup. Oh, I like this. This is great.
Actually,
he doesn't have a shield, though. Interesting, because that would be the biggest error, I think, of being able to hold this with those 3 windows, is usually you need something to block a line of sight from the southern part of the window, and he doesn't really have anything.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about trying to hold in Tier 3 in the big tower, is there's not a lot of cover there. Now, he does have an ADS to protect him from potential grenades, but as there are 3 windows, as you said, they can get crossfires, but that's why I'm wondering, are there other defenders to support, maybe peeking up from below to potentially support? Badger's trying to take cover behind the only thing he's got, which is this tiny sheet of corrugated iron. It is bulletproof, and Madman actually got a run out down below, took out one of the players. It was traded, but Exo's so low for the trouble.
They put a couple of those magnets on the pillar that persists below tier 3 as well, which should have caught some of those, and it did. And Badger, he eats that grenade for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and still survives. And well, it's the Ash charge that will finish him off in the end. And that's a good bit of pinching there from Winstrike, but it took half of the round to do it. They lost the player as well. Now it's a 4v3 with a really low Exo on their frag, and look at that. There's also cams outside with no IQ.
Yeah, wow, look at that. I'm loving this from Granit. Honestly, I don't think we got a chance to see them properly shine against the Lowland Lions last week.
Yeah.
But they have come into every round of Oregon with a strat. Like, they are coming in prepared. They knew it was going to be Oregon very clearly. They got some cool stuff that they've been, cooking up in the pot, dry running. And it's really catching Winstrike off guard. Even though we are at a 3v3 here, it feels like Granit have the control.
Oh, Eastwood's below. Does he have a C4 in hand? Because that would be a real punch in the gut here for Winstrike. They already started off slow, having to clear tier 3. And if you ask me, they probably didn't even have to clear it, considering it wasn't really a detrimental operator. However, Exo, low health, but that doesn't matter. He wants to get rid of Eastwood. And well, Eastwood hasn't been having the best round so far. And he won't be able to collect anything. And now it's up to Oscar and JTC. With 30 seconds left, James, they can do it. But I think the big detriment here is that Winstrike should feel confident now with this kind of man count.
Might just come into a desperate attempt on the bomb site, 4v2. The Russians have the man advantage. Oscar has to come up big here. He's so separated. These 2 players have to win their ones, but no! Larry comes through. The plant's going down. Flares takes a bunch of damage, but Oscar has so many players to deal with. They're going to get that diffuser planted, and now this retake has become nigh impossible. That said, 2 players, low HP. Surely he can make this happen. Still has a C4 as well. Low HP himself. He could toss a C4 out and take down that player on the white stairs. He doesn't know. Trying to peek the angle, but he's going to walk dead into that crossfire. Rush comes through, rushes up, and that's Winstrike to redeem themselves after that rough start and close out the round with the plants.
Going to round 4 now, I'm a little bit more confident here for Winstrike, but that's not to say that I wasn't confident for them in the first couple of rounds. Especially the second round. I know there was a couple of team kills there. I know it went a little bit, to the wayside. I don't even think they thought the site would be meeting. I think they thought it would be top floor when we went to meeting on that second round. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here in saying that, yeah, a couple of really big mistakes. They all bundled up into a lot of mistakes overall. And now that round is really indicative of the team I know they can be. And I know I'm going to keep saying it. This is their best map. But if this is the best that they've got, let's say we continue to see mistakes from them here on this map, then it probably spells a bit of disaster for other maps as well, where they might not be as confident. So we need to see them step up now. You got to get a few rounds on your first half, especially, to give that bit of motivation, some momentum for the team as well.
But we're going back down to this basement bomb site, which was a super convincing win for Granit. Nigh flawless, if I recall correctly, and it came down a lot to that blue take from Winstrike, which left a lot to be desired. There was the double shield we saw, one in elbow and one in supply facing towards elbow. There's actually no ADS here to protect this Vulcan shield. Now, I don't know whether the one in the pocket from Badger is going to go there, but remember that ADS actually didn't protect the shield last time. He's going to do it nonetheless, but I feel like this is going to get avoided.
It's really far away as well. You'll see a lot of people try and place it on those 2 pipes that sort of go perpendicular to that ADS now. And the closer to the edge, the more likely it is it will catch those projectiles. So I'm not saying it's a sloppy placement of it, but that could strike disaster again. And well, Winstrike, they're making quick work of it this time, and they won't, hopefully, become victims of it again or get baited by that reinforcement we saw last time. We'll see how that plays. I think the biggest thing was Badger swung on them on pillar door last time, but he's nowhere to be seen there yet.
breaching round gets both the Melusi Banshee and that Vulcan shield and the barbed wire, so that's such good value out of that single breaching round from the Ashe. Still got one in pocket. Exo the drone up, sees the elbow unreared, probably saw that shield as well from Eastwood. Badger's actually got a great position here in Boiler at the moment. Winstrike need to be careful that their back's covered, but that's the first nade to come through. Larry finds Eastwood, that critical play that we were highlighting.
There we go. They've learnt the lesson. They learnt it quick enough. Now this site looks like it's not going to be as confidently held here by Granit. In fact, shield gone, and now Badger, he gets his revenge, but he did that last time they were downstairs as well. No opportunity to close this wall anymore. Now what they have to do is capitalize on the fact that it is theirs, and Winstrike, if they can clear Freezer, they've got a good opportunity now to get a plant down in the default, and that's what Rush is looking for here.
So much time left in the 4v4, but Badger still unaddressed. What is that? Eventually the nade trades him, but Madman also has rear stairs control. Did that drone spot him out? I think it must have. Surely it must have. I don't think I've ever seen a successful attack through blue onto this bomb site without clearing out these rear stairs. Usually it's an attacker we see in this position. This is so unusual. At least they know where he is, but he's got such a strong spot to play from.
Flares just seems to not care about him. Surely they know, like you said, so he's going to open up the really strong line of sight. If you can get that wall open, it opens you up to so many possibilities on the attack. If we don't see the mute flank down here, and it looks like he's gone all the way up into meeting, actually he's all the way back on site. This is not the play here for Granit. Plant will start to go down. All of these plant positions for the attackers are perfect. Now they've got to win their ones.
And they dodge the C4 as well. Perfect play in the support position from Leroy. And covering the cross is Flares, and Rush runs out of bullets, needs to take out the pistol. Plant still not down. Leroy has to get it on. He starts right now. The pistol is all he's got to cover, but it's exactly what Rush needs. And Winstrike somehow close out that round.
A lot of people might look at us criticizing the mute, not committing to that backstairs hold because it's a power position. You said it yourself. You got those backstairs, you got a heck of a lot to go against when they want to get that plant down, because that wall that the ace opened up is a key angle to be able to stop people moving through that laundry rotate, moving behind the bomb chassis and trying to stop the diffuser from going down. He left it. Was it a round ending mistake? Probably not. There were already players who had been down in key positions already. I'm not going to blame it on the mute, but I will say that that might have changed the outcome of that round.
I really feel like Madman just didn't have the confidence to take those 1v1s. Yeah, he's going up against the AK. All he's got is that SMG-11. It's the long fights, but I don't know. Like, some people would argue you just got to back yourself in that. You've got to take those fights. And funny that I bring that up, because he's actually decided to play an operator that's not really designed for shooting people at all. He's switched onto the Clash. So he's like, I'm so scared to take these gunfights. I'm just trying to zap people behind the safety of this ballistic shield.
Maybe the biggest problem for them, they've identified in that last round, and now they're hoping to repeat and fix or rectify, is that they're losing blue bunker too quickly. You said that one Ash charge dealt with 3 different items in one foul swipe. Yes, fair enough, but the blue bunker is being lost too quickly. Now, I'm not saying Badger has to swing pillar door every time. I mean, that's just a 1v1 or a 1v2 that you're forcing Badger to take. We need a little bit more. And if that little bit more is the Clash, fair enough.
Now, my question, Jess, is something you mentioned in the very first round, because we saw a 6-pick onto, I think it was the Melusi from Wamai.
We did,
Has Granit been scrimming too much BDS or something? Because, JTC just, like, practiced the C4. I like that. But, yeah, has Granit been scrimming too much BDS? Because they're acting as if Wamai has been banned. He's not. He's in play, and he might be the key to holding blue bunker. Instead, they're going to go with the Clash.
I said that very first round, you're so right. Why would you 6-pick off a Wamai? You're relying on one ADS. It's not the play. But is the Clash the play here instead? One flash comes through and ADS will collect it as it bounces on through. ADS collects the other and Madman says, oh my god, they're just dealing with this too much. But you were the fix, Madman. You were meant to be the fix to this. No! Look at that, all closed up, says goodnight to Elbow, and well, Granit this time are hoping that the turtled up hold is the play, but is there any wall denial on that double wall? Can we get a check of that from Easy, our beautiful observer? I'd love to see whether or not where they just reinforced up next to Eastwood has any of that wall
Any
denial.
wall ups at all.
Well, there you go. This is just freebie.
It's crazy to think. Thatcher's banned, no wall denial whatsoever, even considered in the lineup. The mute was the operator 6 picked off of to bring this clash, and the clash clearly was not the answer. Now Granit looking even worse than they were previously, but Badger does find a nice 1v1 shot onto Exo. That said, I think the Ashes utility is kind of not useful anymore since they've already got that blue bunker control. I don't know about you, Jess, but I'm starting to get pretty worried here for Granit.
Well, Madman already had one of the concussions used on him and he's still standing, so that's probably bodes pretty well for him. He's not been having a good game thus far, but Badger's been having a great one. So if you can rely on Badger, use some yellow pings here and go, hey, come swing, come use that good swinging ability. Oh, grenade sails through, and that takes a lot of health as well. This is not looking good for Madman, but he is stalling out a heck of a lot of time. This could potentially save his team.
Larry checking that default plant spot. They've got that long angle open. Smash starting to push down as well. He's got smokes. He could actually smoke up this long angle. But Rush doesn't have the cross that he's been using this whole time. Plant's going down. Is the denial there? Flares, you saved your teammate. Badger, you just murdered him. Oscar, what is that C4? A 2 versus 2. Winstrike have got to pick up the pieces with just 15 seconds left. Smash. He has to replace the plant when it's all on. Rush to cover. Finds one. Badger, the player who stepped up massively. But he can't deny the plant. It's going to go down. But now a 1 versus 1 for the Jaeger. Both players low HP. Smash has to hold out here. Backs up into blue. Elbow completely reinforced. Badger has to check every angle. And it's only a matter of time before that diffuser whittles down. There actually is a breach there, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
Smash taking the long angle. Badger's just pre-firing everything, but he has to start making this happen now. Badger, he gets the idea, sees the side, gets the kill. And that's the retake, a 1 versus 2. What on earth are we watching, Jess?
Badger redeemed himself after getting the team kill on the clash, I think, and it doesn't matter who it was because it was a flurry of kills at the end there when that execute was going down. One thing I will give to Winstrike is they committed to that plant over and over and over again. Didn't matter if the initial planter had died, someone else picked it up and went again. Another smoke sailed out. They had 4 sets of smokes there. Each and every time the plant was accompanied with a smoke to block line of sight. Winstrike, you can tell they're confident on this map. You can tell they know what they're doing. But guess what? Granit have the tenacity. They've got everything going for them here. Do I think the clash did the job? Yes. Do I think it could have been done in a different way? Sure. But I think Madman definitely did his job. He did it quite well. Maybe them pulling back on the aggression was them saying, let's focus on the plant in our boys and see if that works. And well, as scary as it was, it kind of did.
Yeah, that crazy big C4 from Oscar was just really round defining for me. Of course, it wouldn't have mattered if Badger hadn't clutched it at the end, but credit where credit is due. Now Granit on their final round of defense take us back to kitchen meeting. Now we talked a lot about this bomb site. They actually did manage to win it on their defense, but if I recall correctly, Larry naded himself and his teammates in that round that really closed out any chances for the Russians to take it. If that doesn't happen, I don't know, maybe Winstrike have got it.
I don't know, and look, I'll have to go back on the VOD and check this. What they've done now is right behind stage, they've put 2 ADSs. Last time the shield, where the pixel peak coming from Eastwood was being played, was destroyed before he could really have any impact with that pixel. This time, and whether or not they had it last time, I can't be sure, but this time they've got the 2 ADSs there to say, if you want to get rid of the shield, you'll have to commit a lot of utility. They've got that on the attack. You're thinking about the flashes here of both Smash, Exo, etc. So there's a lot they can do to get rid of it really quickly. But again, Winstrike inside Big Tower in the first 30 seconds. They look confident, but that's in their early round. And I think that's when they struggle in their mid to late to just really capitalize on that speed and aggression that they start with. They can't seem to follow with it. Oh, God.
Larry counting his lucky stars after that one. Pretty sure Madman is being a bit of a madman right now, running the ACS-12 instead of the Alder. Honestly,
he is.
Okay, actually lands 1 bullet. I don't know why you would do that. I guess you got the ACOG, but man, the Alder is just such a good gun. Feel like you can't pass it up.
Huh. if he gets a kill, then we can't really say anything, can we? Because
That'll shut me up.
that's got to shut us up. And I mean, one headshot with any gun, of course, but it's barely, to me, got any recoil. So it is one of those long range ones. I mean, you think about back when Legion Spud gun sort of first came into the meta and everyone was like, yeah, you can really hit shots with this at long range, and they nerfed it a little bit. It's like that a little bit.
Good droning from Winstrike. They seen the entirety of Meeting Hall. Eastwood, once again, playing in split. Such an important position that he has. That Evil Eye, I believe, is still intact. And look at all these drones in the bomb strike. Winstrike is just trying to figure out how long until we can start forcing down this plant. But Oscar's in such a power position just around the corner, and he has a C4 ready. Oh, the nade through the drone hall. He narrowly dodges it.
I was going to say, the one way to get rid of that power position every defender plays is just grenade it. And it was like picture perfect. They managed to get it in, but he read it like a book, got out of there, and here come the smokes. Oscar again doesn't miss with those C4s. Exo goes down, grenades connects this time. And now, Winstrike, they're not grenading their teammates this round, James. It's a plant going down. Can Eastwood deny? No! Misreads where the plant is going down. It does manage to go down now, and yet another retake here for Granit.
3 versus 3 could swing either way. Eastwood starting things off with a nice headshot, but smash to reply, and the eventual trade comes through. All on JTC. Eastwood's basically a walking camera at the moment. Crawling, I should say. Barely able to get any info for his team that's useful, and Winstrike just have to hold. You can see JTC doesn't have much info, and he doesn't have much time either. 10 seconds until this is undefusable. He's polished off. Smash to close out the last two with the ARX, and the Russians completely denied any information gathering on the bomb site, and they close it out with a very nice plant.
That's how the last time they attacked should have looked like. That was the plan they were trying to employ. I get it now. I've seen it come to fruition. I'm happy I got to see it come to fruition, as now Winstrike, they're on defense. So we've seen what they're made of on attack. We've seen, unfortunately, that they can trip and stumble over, a couple of little mistakes, which just steamroll into big mistakes. Are they going to be more confident here on the defense? They'll start downstairs as well. This time they've got the Wamai. Doesn't look like a 6-pick will come out. And then looking at the attackers as well, they've got a heck of a lot of utility to deal with Blue Bunker here. I'd be surprised if they don't push it.
So 3-3 at the half, but color me critical if I say I think Granit is lucky to have ended that half with 3 rounds on their side. Like you mentioned, Winstrike, if their first meeting attack had looked like their second, if they hadn't got that nade, then they probably would have been successful. And one of the defenses of the basement that Granit won was on the back of a 1v2 clutch that probably shouldn't have happened from Badger. So is it fair of me to say that I feel like Winstrike is actually winning this game?
Those double ADSs are super particular, by the way. The ones over in Laundry, yeah. The reason I say they're super particular is that for the most part, you would put one freezer, at least 1 or 2 even. I mean, they got a Wamai, so they can focus on that over an Elbow and Blue Bunker. There is one in freezer. But the 2 ADSs over in Laundry make me think that Winstrike is kind of almost certain they're going to push from Laundry. Okay, thank you, Exo. Oh, buddy old pal. I was going to say, do you know something I don't know here? But he picks them all up. He goes, nah, mate, I've misinterpreted the hold here, boys. Don't worry, I got you.
I wonder whether part of that is... This is so weird. So much late util moved around.
He's doing it again?
Tossing up. This is so confusing, Jess. What are the comms?
Back down again.
Was it...
Hello?
I thought maybe part of this was... It literally puts all 3 in the same place. I thought maybe they'd, spotted where Granit spawned and based on that, changed their mind about what kind of a push is happening. But have a look at that. So aggro, so early, and they're going to waste that first ADS. Oh, but there's 2 magnets in the way first.
Maybe they just know that Granit do a front push, which is fair enough. I mean, it's not like you can't watch some Granit games. Been part of, their national league for quite a long time. I even casted them during a Red Bull Cup, for example. So there's VODs galore, but how much of it is a current VOD is really questionable, and freezer take is the play here for the attackers. Surprisingly enough, they'll give Rush the opportunity to still keep deploying his magnets. And now, the hold here from Winstrike will have to be key. don't think they're pushing through blue bunker at all, James. So they're pretty confident that they can keep all eyes peeled to the southwest and the south at the moment.
And that's why we can be concerned in the late round. A potential late flank may catch Winstrike off guard, but they're very much aware that Granit are pushing from freezer and from front. Nade sails over. That's a beautiful land onto Rush. Badger stepping up again, but Larry gets so aggressive and not punished. Takes down Eastwood. As the Hibana player, no more hatches to be open, but I think he got all his utility out already. Exo holding the angle, and it looks like Winstrike have forfeited freezer control.
Exo's in a really good spot. Shield there will cover him if anyone decides to push blue bunker. He's got pretty much pillar control for the most part, and if they push back stairs, well, he should be able to hear them in time. But Madman says, well, I might not be able to play the Clash, but I can play Smash in a better way than he was able to clap back. And excuse the pun there, and here we go. Execute runs out, 20 seconds left. It looks like a Winstrike round here if they keep collecting these kills.
It's exactly the shot that Larry needed to land, and now it's all on Madman. Almost a nice flick there, 10 bullets in the magazine, and he's just playing chasey. Exo, the one to land the shots, and Winstrike start their defense strong. It seemed like from the get-go they knew where Granit wanted to push. All they had to do was wait and be ready to receive.
How did they know? I mean, I get it. You come into EUCL and there are some national teams that have had almost every game they've played in their national league broadcasted. So you can go back and go, yeah, I've got access to this. I know this is great. Some not so accessible in certain regions. And so you've got to really dig deep. And that's for your support staff to do, of course. And if you don't have any, well, that's for you and your team to sort of dig back on. To be so confident that they would push that way makes me think they've really read into their opponents. And I give a lot of respect to teams who go, this might be our best map, but we should never underestimate our opponent. That's great to see.
Winstrike on the defense have now finally gained that advantage, but it could slip away just as fast as they gained it. Remember that Granit started actually with a 2-0 lead on their own defensive side before Winstrike warmed up and really got in this game. So this is far from over, and I can definitely feel a close match on our hands. Of course, the scoreline says that. This could be a 7-5 either way or a draw. That's what I'm feeling right now. These teams appear to be very closely matched, whether it's overall well-played strategies executed as a team or just individual players stepping up. These teams are neck and neck.
Speaking of individual players stepping up, it kind of feels like Badger's been the really key star player here for Granit. Now, we never say that kills are everything, but when you're on the defensive side and Winstrike are being, kneecapped in the first minute and a half by one of your star players, you can effectively say that they've had a huge impact. Are they impactful kills? Yes, and Badger's been having them. So I think for the moment, we need to see the rest of Granit be stepping up here on attack. You can never rely on one player, especially when you've got Winstrike, who are having multiple players step up here.
I'm really happy for Badger too, because in his first game, just the other day when they played the Lowland Lions, now called Gamma, he had a 0.49 rating, went 2-8, 2 kills, 8 deaths. That was really, really rough, and he's finally redeeming himself here.
Is he pushing solo YOLO here onto Exo? I always say if you've got, another one of your fraggish JTC, even Madman, for example, who could push with you, that is the optimal way to push. Oscar on the other side of the map, Eastwood all the way up on bedroom balcony. I'm not sure where the other fraggers are. I think Madman's over in Armory, so no one's really here to assist him. He's taking a 1v1 gunfight. He could lose here, and if he does lose, well, those grenades will be gone as well.
I think Smash might have been making a flank as well. Badger really worried. He's going to catch off Smash here, surely. Takes a bit of damage and looks for the re-peek from the second player. That's a nice opening for Badger and buffs up his kills as well. Takes out the default cam while he's at it and backs on out. Critically, that is one of the C4s down. Exo does not have a C4, but the numbers now equalized because a player on trophy, that's Madman, gets a little bit too greedy on the peak.
He did say a C4 is gone, but Exo still persists downstairs. I think the big thing about having a Jaeger below is that he might not have the plant denial, but I believe they've made some verticals there for the key default plant spots. That still becomes a worry. Someone standing directly in the middle of a doorway between both a doorway and a window. Not the place you really want to be standing if you are a defender. And now Badger, he's just playing cat and mouse with EXO at the moment. And EXO is the one that's really being able to resist any of those gunfights with him thus far.
Eastwood?
Oh, hello, in.
What? He shoots the C4? Oh my, what can this man not do? Okay, he can't survive that. Flares finally denies the plant. Badger, we talked all about him this round, but, well, he's got a lot to do. Need to be an ace. Almost makes it a 2K, but look, maybe that was a bit over-eager of Granit to try and force down that plant without the adequate cover. If Badger had been on that window a little bit earlier, surely he would have saved Eastwood's life. But now it's a desperate ask, and I think Winstrike have this.
2 rounds buffer that Winstrike have is not what Granit needed. They needed that back and forth because Winstrike had been on the up and up since that round. Good little swing onto the head there, but all over Red Rover. Winstrike, what I would say is a confident round, especially when you've got Eastwood running into a default plant. They knew that there was vertical holes below it. I called it before. EXO could play it if he wanted to. No one had cleared him. Badger wasn't on the rappel yet to be able to cover him, as you said. Sometimes you have to trust and wait that your teammates can come and assist you. You can't just make these sort of solo YOLO plays and hope they pay off, because in that singular position, you've got to contend with 3 different angles and with no cover from anywhere, no trophy, no breach, no window, not even white stairs at that point. It's a big task, and it really didn't go Eastwood's way.
Yeah, it's not like time was of the essence as well. I feel like Eastwood could have waited a little bit longer. I'm pretty sure there's like 40 seconds left on the clock by the time he actually died. So maybe a bit over-eager there. Something that I've noticed, and I know people hate it when casters reference their own gameplay, because, you know, we're rubbish, I'm terrible, I just play and play Elo. I give it my best shot, but Eastwood was fully out of drones. It's something I've noticed myself in particular, and I'm sure a lot of players are the same. When you get out of drones, especially as a support player, you get antsy. You feel kind of useless. If you don't feel like, if your job is to plant the diffuser, and it's not time to plant the diffuser yet, but you can't drone, what do? Just sit there and call for your teammates?
Larry again! Brother, no! Jesus Lord! If it's not a grenade, it's a headshot. And look, you know what? Saving grace, silver lining. I don't want to be negative Nelly anymore. I want to be positive Panda. I don't know. I'll come up with some kind of name. But all 3 ADSs are down. Silver lining of that terrible, terrible moment.
Larry, look, mate, we've got to have a chat. All right, stick around in the Discord after everyone else goes home, and we'll have a one-on-one. All right, we'll talk about some issues.
He'll probably just shoot you in the head.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be alone in the room with this guy.
No.
And on this bomb site too, well, I think if this is Granit's in, right? You're going up against Winstrike's tertiary bomb site, and you're in a 5v4. If Granit lose this and we're staring down match point, surely that's it. Surely it's all over Red Rover. I don't think that Granit could crawl back from that, and that makes this round even more pivotal. Imagine if Badger dies and loses out with 12 and 5. I mean, he's been absolutely fragging out for his team. What a tilting way to lose. I know I'm not calling it early. Granit surely have a shot here. Winstrike have given them the chance. You've got to grab it with both hands and shake it till it gives you the damn toys.
Impact trick it flares. You got this. We've seen this multiple times over. Flash comes in, but, well, they finally will catch it on the ADS. This is Flair's opportunity now to be able to impact trick this. The Mute Jam is in a really good spot as well, so it will catch those X-Kairos. He'll decide to impact trick it anyway, even though they hadn't removed the Mute Jammer. Maybe he got antsy. Maybe he wanted to get that out before he possibly passed away in showers when nearby one of his teammates, his body rests. And now we'll have the clone come in and confirm that is exactly where Flares is, and Eastwood uses that confusion to take advantage. And now, well, surely this is a Granit round, but Smash says, I want to give something back before it's all over.
I want to give back to the community that's given me so much, he says. And it's the SMG-11 bros to hold on. Oscar, he's got a feeling. His spider sense is tingling, but he gets tingled right in the face. See you later, mate. 2 versus 3. And the SMG-11 bros are on the case. Smash out of gas, but he might have something left in the tank. Larry trying to hold on, but he's just around the corner from Madman. This is shotgun range, but the shield could be used as cover. Not a plant position available, but Winstrike still have some time.
There's so much time here for Granit as well. They'll get rid of that shield, and well, that actually does not play into their favor. Larry dodges yet another grenade, and, well, now it's up to Madman. I think he needs to be the one to cut the rotate here. He's the one that needs to be able to cover. The plant starts to go down. Eastwood on low HP decides to aggress up in the kitchen. Is this the play? It might be. He does get the down onto the rotate. And, plant does manage to go down, but this is a tall task for Smash. 30 seconds left, 7-second defuse. It's a lot to go through, but these players are evacuating, or at least one of them is.
Madman's in such a good spot, hiding down in the body, a rat as you would say, Jess. And Madman, he holds it out and salvages that round, but got a little bit too close for comfort. I believe it was a 5v2 and ended up in a 2 versus 1. Granit got to be just thankful. You take the dub and move on. They're only 1 round behind.
I don't want to blame the fact that the Jaeger had died early as to why Winstrike lost that round.
But you're gonna.
I think the biggest thing is that by using the clone so smartly as a distraction, of course the Malusi player is going to turn towards running sounds, naturally. But Eastwood had used his, ominous game sense, I guess, to go, that's my opportunity to strike. We can't get rid of this mute jammer. We can't get the angle onto the shower player we want. So we're just going to have to use our brute gun skill. And he almost died doing it. So had he have died, it actually would not have been worth it. And I think when you're going against a hole like that, you have to be confident that you're going to win. And Eastwood's been doing a lot of solo things. Yes, that worked out for him last round, but that could have been really bad for his team when he was a key operator.
Winstrike, though, do have a chance to come back now. 5-4. They're on the advantage in terms of round counts, and really all they've got to do is repeat defeat, defend Laundry successfully. You'll be on match point. Go back to dorms. It'll be unlocked again. Defend that successfully and call it a day. Go home. Pats on the back. I'll shout ice cream for everyone. Oh, I don't know. What are the Russian? What's the Russian dessert? Baklava. Is that Russian? No, I'm probably going to offend people.
I think that's Turkish, isn't it?
Turkish. Yeah, that's definitely going to offend people.
Okay.
I apologize.
Russian desserts.
Please let me know. I want to know what I'm shouting for everyone.
No way. I want some. Number 1.
What is it?
Chocolate salami.
Yum. All right. Winstrike, you win the next 2 rounds. I'm shouting everyone chocolate salami. Let's go.
Bird's milk cake.
All right. Welcome to this
milk?
Russian cooking show. The birds have milk. All right, Jess.
Look,
all right, EXO. Give it an eye on the blue. Look, Jess, let's bring it back in. Come on, we need to please the people.
I wanted to say that Laundry and Supply has the biggest defensive win rate in EUL. So if Winstrike can do it, now's the site to do it, I think.
And they've done it once already. Remember, they read that push from Granit so well. It looks like Granit's going to do the same thing. Winstrike have already checked that it's not a blue push, and that's why that got barricaded back up. The main operator change we're seeing from Granit is actually bringing the ace, though. Madman previously was playing the Ash and the... he was playing the Zofia, which has moved over to Jace TC. And we've foregone the Ash this time. I don't know if it'll work out. I wonder what that extra hard breach would be used on.
I want to see them actually use it this time because we've seen Eastwood. It's almost like he just plays Hibana the way that Shaiko plays it, and he just plays it to have the weaponry rather than to be able to use the gadget. Fair enough if you've got enough hard breach to be able to fall back on, but this is a almost picture-perfect replay, deja vu moment here for me, James, of the push that Granit did last time. Either they've fixed their mistakes or they're just gifting Winstrike almost a complete replay of last time.
What I will say is Eastwood's used all of his ex-Kairos and opened 3 hatches, if I'm not wrong. I like the fact that they banned Kaid, makes that a bit easier. Rush trying to hold on to Freezer, though. He's about to get a clone in the face. He takes it out. Is JT going to peek on? Eastwood takes down Larry, though. This is such an early execute. But JTC is forced back, and Eastwood loses his head in the action. 4v4. How much util is still remaining for the execute? Because I'm not sure if there's a second win here for Granit.
That good pick on a Larry there was crucial. Last time Larry stayed up for way too long. Eastwood gets him, but he does get traded back. There's enough people here on the attack to deal with this. Smoke rains out and Madman can't get in to get the plant down. All they need now, do they have another C4? Maybe on... No, they don't. They have no more C4s, no more smokes. This is it, 20 seconds. This will be a gun fest.
Badger gonna peek on through Rush just to hold the line, but he's got 2 players. He gets one, the second one to re-peek, and he wins that fight as well. What is this from Winstrike? They hold down their lines. A 3K from Rush on the Wamai in Freezer. Immovable, and that takes Winstrike all the way to match points.
That's the problem with being predictable, is that you can't come in, redo the exact same push, picture perfect, like I said it before, and not expect the defenders to have read you like an absolute book. And Winstrike, while they might not speak the same language as Granit, but they can pretty much be multilingual in my book because they just had that down pat. I think the only mistake I saw there was from Larry, and over peaking that laundry like he did last time. It didn't pay dividends for him, and as a result, he went down, but it didn't matter in the end. All the rest of the teammates said, no problems, we'll play a little bit more passive here, we'll wait for them to get in, we'll use our smokes to abate the plant, and it worked wonders. Came down to the fact that, and I'm going to get this wrong, but whoever had the grenade, it had to have been Badger or something. I think what happened was he threw it over the shelves in Freezer to get that key Freezer spot where we had, Rush on that 4K of Wamai, and he didn't cook it enough. I heard it bounce a couple of times, and that may have actually won them the round if he was in that position and it was cooked enough. I'll have to watch it back, but that could have been, the difference between having Freezer control and not having it.
Such a narrow margin, isn't it? And I feel like that's been the case here for Granit, but what I will say is, Granit's won 4 rounds so far. How many of those have been team kills from Winstrike? At least 2, right? So,
you cannot attribute that.
If you count those as null and void, right? Granit's only won 2 rounds. Maybe that's a bit unfair. I don't know, but I do think Winstrike here have proven to be the better team, but they've got to prove it for real here on their final rounds. So much info here. There are so many dirty runouts that they could get here.
It would really be a sucker punch in the gut as well. They're on match point. Granit are going to be playing either hyper aggressive or really careful. Teams take a different tack depending on how they feel, what the comms are sounding like when they're going up against match point. They've got to win 2 rounds in a row now to even secure 1 point and bring themselves a draw. If you're Winstrike, you could play super safe or you could play super aggressive as well. I think for Granit, just looking at these drones, they're going to play a bit safe here, try and get some walls open by the looks of it, and that's the focus now for Eastwood.
My concern is Madman's gone on the Ash and abandoned the Ace, so now Eastwood's the only one with that hard breach, and Rush is ready and waiting to impact trick it. Can Madman deny from the window? First X-Kairos to go on through. Rush impact tricks it successfully. Madman can't find the angle. What's he doing? He needs to protect these X-Kairos. How many does Eastwood have left? He's so close to getting the kill, but he misses it. Do we have a valid opening here on the closet wall? No, we don't. And I don't think there's any more hard breach remaining. This could spell death for Granit.
That's it right there. I think you've called it. You got rid of the Ace for an Ash. The Ash didn't even go underneath and try and challenge. She tried to challenge from a wall where, quite frankly, who is it? It was Rush. He played that perfectly. He had a smashing round the round before, comes into here, pretty much saves the round here for them. If they win this, wouldn't be surprised. But if Granit win it, it is out of pure grit and brute force on the side. Not looking pretty for Granit now.
But Badger does have an angle from the closet onto where Larry is, and JTC, Smash could run out and get the kill of his life. That's one. And now suddenly Winstrike have the man advantage. Madman, he's been struggling all round to find a use for himself, and now Granit need to seriously, as you said, put their grit into this final moments. 40 seconds remaining, but when's the execute to come through? Granit don't have the ground that they need, and they know it. Smash still roaming below. I don't think this is enough for Granit.
No, Eastwood's going to try a solo YOLO push again. It's up wide and EXO. Well, he's there to collect, and so is Smash. Surely he gets this kill. Yes, he does. Finishes off with the Deagle, and it's all raining blue and a flawless round to finish it off from Winstrike. Wow. It's like they got better every single round, as if they were warming up here in Granit. They couldn't keep pace.
Jess, I feel like that was a very close game that went back and forth, but while it did start with a bang, I feel like it fizzled out towards the end, and Winstrike won almost by default. They out-trumped Granit, who couldn't find their feet there. By the end of it, Badger had a great game, 12-7, but it wasn't enough, and of course, frags on everything. In that particular round at the end there, I feel like it was the utility that lost the game for Granit and Winstrike won.
The moment you called that 6-pick from the ace over towards the ash and you said they've only got one hard breacher, I said, don't cast a curse it. For the love of God, James.
Sorry.
Because Eastwood has struggled with the utility thus far. Look what happened. Well, we can't always tell stories as they come, but that one, that was like a book, as we said. We'll throw it over to the analysts and see what they have to break down, but it might not be pretty.
Thanks so much, guys. Yes, some would say that this